Okay everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do another recipe, and today's recipe is going to be a cheesecake. It's going to be a New York style cheesecake with a graham cracker crust, and it's a very dense cheesecake. So if you like a dense cheesecake, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to make this whole thing, okay? You're going to need a food processor. You're going to need a stand mixer or beaters, like you were if you were to make mashed potatoes. You're going to need one or the other to mix this cream cheese, okay? Let me run down these ingredients before I get started. I have 2.5 pounds of cream cheese softened, okay? Take this out probably a couple hours before you're ready to make this, okay? Over here I've got 5 full large eggs plus 2 egg yolks. All right, I'm not going to make my own filling for this because this stuff is actually pretty good. So we're going to do a cherry topping and we're going to do a blueberry topping. Now if you want to make your own topping, you very well could do that. You could just buy some blueberries, buy some cherries, make sure you pit the cherries, put them in a saucepan. You add a little bit of water to it, like 1/3 cup of water and some sugar, and you just cook them down until they start breaking down. That would be your topping, okay? I just decided to do it this way because the focus is on the cheesecake. I have 3 tablespoons of flour. I have some Land O'Lakes unsalted butter. I have, it's about 13 whole pieces of graham cracker. Okay, we're looking for about a cup of graham crackers when we're done with this. Okay, over here I have 1.5 cups of sugar. I have a salt just for a pinch of salt. I have a 1/2 cup of sour cream. I have some vanilla, pure vanilla, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla, and I have some sugar here for the crust. Okay, I'll link all this down in the description in case I happen to, forget anything. This is 1.5 teaspoons. So that's how much sugar, or I'm sorry, 1.5 tablespoons. Okay, so this is the rundown of this. It's pretty simple. Machines do pretty much all the work. The biggest thing is try not to let your cheesecake crack. So we're going to do this in a water bath. Now, if it happens to crack, that'll be a good thing. I don't personally mind if it does or it doesn't. If it does, because I'm shooting a video, I can at least show you how to repair it. And I will do so if my cheesecake happens to crack. It's a little extra work, but it's not bad, trust me. Okay, so we're going to get going with this recipe. If you like this recipe, you like cheesecake, or you like my channel, please throw a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. As you guys know by now, I do a recipe every single week. All right, so we're going to get on to cracking up these graham crackers. We'll be right back with you. All right, let's start grinding up these graham crackers. Okay, very simple. Food processor, you're just going to crack these in half. You can do them a little bit more if you want to. I mean, the machine's going to do most of this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to put all of our graham crackers in here just like this. Okay, now we're going to give this a pulse. This is going to be a little bit loud, so I apologize, but give me 1 second and we'll get this pulse. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like gravel, but we'll hold on 1 second. Okay, so this is what, and hopefully you all can see that. That's about the consistency that you're going to want this, okay? So from the next step to this is we're just going to add the sugar. We're going to just put the sugar in, just going to pulse it a couple times just to mix it in, and then we are going to take our unsalted butter and we're also going to add that right now as well. Okay, Okay, and you're going to want this just so you can pack it. All right, so basically, so when you squeeze it, you're going to, let me see if I can, yeah, see? Just like that. So when you push it together, that's what we do. Okay, so this is done. Very simple, very easy. Okay, let me clean up my little bit of mess here, and we're going to show you how to put the crust into, this is a 10-inch cheesecake. Okay, so we're doing a 10-inch spring pan. Let me clear some of this stuff up. I'll bring the spring pan over. I'll show you how I do it. You don't necessarily have to do it like this, but I will show you how I do it. It takes a lot of, mess away at the end. Okay, hang in there with me. We'll be right back. We'll start this crust. All right, so here we are. We're going to prepare this pan. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this, okay? For those of you guys that don't know what a spring pan is, it has a little clip on the side here that opens and closes this pan, and the bottom drops out. Okay, so it's a little bit easier to serve this, and then in here, right here, there's a groove, okay? The lip of this sits right inside that, and sometimes it's a little difficult to line up, not too bad, and then it stays. Okay, so it's all secure. So there's two ways to do this. I'll explain to you two ways that you could actually do this. Okay, one way is to get some parchment paper and put some spray down, olive oil spray. You can use Pam, and cut a piece of parchment paper out to sit it on the bottom of this. Okay, that's one way of doing it. And then take another piece of parchment paper, probably about maybe 3 inches above this lip, and set it on the inside so it almost looks like a chef's hat. Okay, and spray that as well, and then you can push it down and you can stick that to this so it stays put, basically. Okay, and then you can also take the same spray if you want to and spray it again. Okay, that'll release the cheesecake at the end very, very easily, and you won't get your cheesecake to stick. A lot of times it sticks along the edges and it's hard to get out of the bottom because you can see right here there's a lip that goes down. It comes over and then it goes down. So sometimes this can be a little bit difficult to get this out. Now, okay, having said that, I know I babble a lot, but that's about what my channel's about. It's about just teaching you guys. If you don't know, maybe some of you guys are experienced and you know all this, but it's for the people that don't know, that's never made a cheesecake or anything else that I've made. That's why I explained it. That's why my videos are a little bit long. Okay, the other way you can do it, if you don't have any parchment paper, is just grab yourself a paper towel. And what we're going to do, off camera here, we're gonna butter this. Now you can butter it with a paper towel. You can also butter it with if you have a brush, which I do, but I just figured I'd do it this way just because it's a little bit quicker. And this recipe is good for like I said, this is good for like a 10-inch spring pan. All right, you can do a 9 if you want to. It might take a little bit longer to cook, and it's going to be a little bit thicker because you're not putting as much in it, obviously. But you're going to get a little bit bigger of a cheesecake. It just won't be as thick. Okay, so I feel pretty comfortable with that. That's all ready to go. And again, the only reason why I'm doing this is because at the end of this, I want this to come out, and I try not to want it to stick. Sometimes they stick. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Okay, so the next thing we do is we're just going to dump our breadcrumbs right in, just like that, and make sure kind of get it all. So this is you've seen the butter go in this, the 3 tablespoons of butter. So there's butter here, and then the whatchamacallit is also lined with butter. So it's going to be a nice buttery crust. Okay, so what we're going to do, for those of you who've not made a cheesecake before, very simple. Now, I don't like to go real high on the wall. I don't like my cheesecake with a big thick crust like on the edge. Okay, so what I do is I just kind of flatten this out like you're making a pizza. You can go up the wall a little bit. It all depends on how you like it. That's just me. But you can do it any way you want to. Just make sure it's even all the way across, kind of like that. Okay, now you can use two things you can use here. You can use the back of your hand, okay, like this, and push it down and pack it. Or let me grab a good old measuring cup like this, and you can just pack it down like this. And this is going to give you a little bit better of a crust than it would if you packed it by hand, because you might get some knuckle areas in it. So this gives you, it's kind of foolproof. Or you can use a meat pounder too, a little circle to tenderize meat. You can use that too. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there for right now. I'm gonna just clean up my edges, just like this. Just take your finger and run it around, just like that. There we go. And then we're just gonna tap it again. But tap it so your measuring cup is not straight, but it's like this. So you're pushing the graham cracker towards the center, and that'll give you that nice bottom graham cracker. All these little techniques mean something at the end of it all, right? Okay. A lot of trial and error. Been making cheesecake for a long time, and it's important to get the bottom of the crust equal with what you're going to do as far as how much batter that you're going to put in, you know. Okay, so this is it. I'm just going to clean up the edges. This is going to go in the oven now at 350 for about 4 minutes. The only thing we're trying to do here is we're trying to just set this. Okay, we're trying to let it all come together, bind together a little bit. Then we're going to yank it, and we're going to get on to making the filling. That's the good part. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I cleaned up a little bit of my mess. We are on to making the filling for this cheesecake. If you guys are looking for something low-cal, this is not the recipe for you. Okay, just giving you kind of a heads up. Okay, so we're going to get on with this next part. So we have 2.5 pounds of cream cheese here, and basically we're just gonna dump that in. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, so I have my mixer set with the paddle attachment to it. So basically what you want to do is you want to cream this. Okay, don't be afraid to take a spatula and keep wiping down the edges. All right, this needs to be room temperature. If it's not room temperature and your eggs are not room temperature, you're going to get these little white spots throughout your cheesecake because it's not going to mix properly. Can't stress that enough. Cream cheese room temperature, eggs room temperature, sour cream room temperature. If you have that, you shouldn't get any white spots, and you need to make sure that this is mixed very, very well. Okay, if my mixer is a little bit too loud, I apologize for it. It's kind of an industrial thing here. It's just what I wound up buying years ago. I like it, so I keep it. So I'm going to start creaming this. You probably cream this for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 minutes, and then I will show you what the end result is. Now, the other thing with this is you don't want to go too fast with it because you don't want to put a ton of air bubbles in it. That will cause little gaps in your cheesecake. Okay, so we're going to start this up, and then I'm going to cut the video, and then when I'm done creaming this, I will show you exactly what we do next. We're going to add the sugar and the vanilla, and then eggs one at a time with the flour and sour cream. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so now at this point, we're just going to take it, we're going to lift it up, and we're just going to push some of this cream cheese out of the mixer, out of the beater here, and we're just going to give it a quick, you don't have to get super fancy with it, but just knock it down just a little bit, and then I'm going to cream it again. Okay, now we're going to add in the sugar. And we're going to toss in the vanilla. Like I said, I'll put a link to this in the description, or not a link in the description, but I'll explain all this in the description to you guys. Okay, so I'm going to let that go for just a little bit, a few minutes, and I'll be back with you when we do the egg addition, okay? All right. Okay, so this has been mixing for, I got it mixing on slow, as you can see. This has been mixing for probably about 2 to 3 minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our 3 tablespoons of flour. We're going to add our flour in. Okay, and we make sure that we always mix very good after each addition. So we're just going to let this go just until it's incorporated, which it looks pretty good. And then we're going to add in the eggs. Okay, again, mix real well after each addition, and you should be fine. Now again, this is 5 regular eggs, large white eggs, and 2 egg yolks. Okay, so here we go with this. We're going to add 1 egg, let it mix really good. It's going to loosen up really, really quick. That's what it's supposed to do. Don't panic by that if you've never made a cheesecake before. If you've made a cheesecake before, you know that this is exactly what it does. Okay, so we'll go with another egg. Another egg. So again, maybe I'm repeating myself, but it's 5 eggs and 2 egg yolks. And I am going to stop this and scrape this side of the bowl down as well once this addition is done, and then mix it more. Okay, we'll put the last egg in. We'll let this mix. Again, try to keep it on slow. Don't want to get no air bubbles in it. You'll see some cream cheese that maybe hasn't mixed in around the paddle. Make sure you scrape that down, get that in the batter. The stuff that's along the wall over here, you know, make sure you get that down, put that down inside. And another thing with these stand mixers too, I know KitchenAid does it, mine does it too, is on the bottom of the bowl. Make sure you scrape the bottom of the bowl, because there's a little hump right there at the bottom of these bowls, and sometimes the paddle doesn't get all the way down to the bottom. So make sure you do that, because if you don't, you're going to get a big lump of cream cheese in the middle of your cake. Nobody wants that. Okay, so I'm going to mix this for a couple more minutes, scrape down the bowl, and actually, you know what I'm going to do right now? I might as well put in our sour cream. It's a half a cup of sour cream, by the way, and we'll let this okay. so that's that. I'm going to let this mix, like I said, and I'll be back with you guys after I scrape it down and get this ready to go in the spring pan. All right, so we're back to show you exactly what this is supposed to look like. This is done now. What I did do is I did scrape down the bowl and the bottom of the bowl twice. And I mixed it for probably about 4 minutes or so. So that's about what you're probably looking at. Now, if you see the consistency of it, right, it looks like pudding. It's supposed to be loose. That's okay. It's the way it's supposed to be. Just let it be. Okay, so we're just gonna put this stuff over here in my bowl, and I'm gonna bring over the pie crust. I'm gonna get this off the countertop, bring the pie crust over. We're gonna fill that up, and we're gonna get that in the oven. So hang out with me for just a couple more minutes, and then it's all baking time. So back with you guys. I just want to show you what this looks like. Now, this was only in the oven for 4 minutes on 350. All you're trying to do is set it, okay? It's still going to become a little crumbly, and I don't know if you guys can actually see that though, but on the edge over here, it just started to turn a little brown. Just started. All right, that's what you want. That's your crust. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Simple, right? Now remember, it's all buttered, so we shouldn't have a problem with things sticking. All right, so all goes in the batter. It's as simple as that. Okay, so the batter is, there's a little tiny thing on the bottom here. I don't want to get that into the cake right this second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video here for a second, and I'm going to mix this last piece up by hand. It happens. It's not a big deal, but we'll see if we can get the rest of that in. And then this goes in the oven, 350. Could be an hour, could be an hour and a half, could be a little bit for this, but that's okay because it's going to be worth it in the end. All right, hang with me just for a second, and we'll get this in the oven. So the only other thing I did when I was off camera is I just took a whisk. I scraped the bottom of that bowl. I whisked it really, really, really good till there was no lumps. It was nice and creamy. I poured that into the 10-inch spring pan, and then I just took my spatula and I just kind of mixed it very, very lightly. Don't beat that part up. Very lightly. Just incorporate it. That's all you're trying to do. All right, so the next step here is to put this cheesecake in the oven, and we're going to do it in a water bath. For you guys that don't maybe know what a water bath is, it's hot water, and you put about maybe 2 inches of hot water into your thing. But before we do that, what we're going to do, and I know my camera's going to go crazy because it hates aluminum foil, this is what we're going to do, because spring pans, even though they say they're a sealed pan, they are not. So if you think that it's sealed, I'm telling you that it's, no matter how many of these I made, you're going to ruin your crust on the bottom if you don't do this. Okay, so what we're going to do, and look at how beautiful that is. Now this is going to rise when it's in the oven. So again, I'm just doing a roasting pan here. All right, not really just a pan big enough to put your whatchamacallit in. We're just going to fold it over like this. All right. Okay, so just about like that. So like I said earlier, by doing a water bath, you're not supposed to get cracks in your cheesecake. Now, not everything is perfect. Sometimes you'll get cracks in your cheesecake. But the water bath is supposed to prevent this, and most of the time, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, or even higher, you will not get a crack in your cheesecake. So over on the stove here, I have some hot water, right? And what we're going to do, I got to turn this way. what we're going to do is we're just going to pour this in the pan till we get about 2 inches to 1.5 inches of water. Okay, and this moisture, as this cake bakes, is going to, hopefully, going to prevent, just like that. Okay, and there's no real measurement in this pot. I just do the, sorry about that, I'm off camera. I just do the measurement by how high it comes up the pan. So it's about maybe 1 inch, 1.5 inches off the pan. And this is ready for the oven. Okay, so we're going to put this in the oven. We're going to bake this at 350. What we're looking for is golden brown along the edges. Usually when it's golden brown along the edges, the cake is getting to be done. Okay, they say you jiggle it, and if the center is still jiggly, it's not done. So this could be an hour. This could be an hour and a half. This could be a little time to bake these, but trust me, it's well worth it. And the day you bake it, you're not going to eat it that day, because you got to let this cool on the countertop for at least 4 hours. Put it in the refrigerator overnight, then you'll be able to cut it and you'll be able to get at this. Okay, so this is going in the oven right now, and I'll show you the end result as soon as it's done. Okay guys, so this cheesecake, this masterpiece, this thing looks so good. Went in the oven, stayed in for about 1 hour and 35 minutes, and here is the result. Look at that, golden brown around the edges, a little bit more browner on this side. The reason for that is I don't have a convection oven, so the air in the oven is not circulating as if you had a convection oven. Okay, it's pretty much just as simple as that. I did turn this probably at like the hour mark, but not every oven is the same. You set them on 350. That's where I baked this to. It could have been 355, could have been 345. Every oven is different. But anyways, this is the result of my cheesecake. I've been making cheesecakes like this for many years. I have doctored up some of the recipes here and there. Always trying to strive to make a better cheesecake, a better everything. Maybe by the time I'm 90 years old and I'm ready to pass on, we'll master everything that we cook. But as of right now, this here is my New York City style cheesecake, and people that have had this think that this is absolutely fantastic. It is a dense cheesecake. To let you know that, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not more of a creamier, looser kind of cheesecake. I like to put my fork in it and have my fork stay there. Okay, so anyways, this baked off at 350 for about 1 hour and 35 minutes. You got to watch it towards the end. Like you guys hear me say a lot, presentation means a lot to me, at least, how it's plated, what it looks like when it's done. This is going to cool now on the counter right here for probably about 4 hours. Once this is cooled and I can touch the bottom of it, I also have this on a cooling rack. As you see, it just adds about maybe 1/2 inch or so between the countertop and the bottom of the pan. This will cool. Now, it's going to sit here for 4 hours. Let it sit. Don't play with it. Don't try to undo the spring part of the pan. Let it sit. After the 4 hours, what I'm going to do is this is going to go in the refrigerator till tomorrow. You have to let this set up, okay? Don't be alarmed if the cake actually, kind of caves a little bit. It shouldn't cave too much, but it may settle. It very well may settle 1/4 inch, something like that. It's totally normal. It's nothing that you did. It's not a bad thing. So this is going to go in the refrigerator after 4 hours, after it's cooled down, and I will cut that up and dress it with some cherries and some blueberries, and maybe we'll even cut a slice of just plain regular cheesecake. And I'll show you how to cut that up, because there are little secrets along the way to make the presentation of cutting a cheesecake so all the slices are like razor sharp. Okay, so that's it. In the refrigerator it goes after 4 hours. I will see you guys probably tomorrow. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to my channel, put a thumbs up, and share this video if you think somebody's going to enjoy this. Okay, until tomorrow, I will see you guys then. And we're going to cut into this cheesecake, and I'm going to show you how gorgeous this is. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back. It has been 24 hours or a little bit more since this cheesecake has been in the refrigerator, and I gotta say it looks, you know, I mean, it looks fantastic. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you how to release this. For those of you guys who haven't used a spring pan before, I'm just going to show you how to release this cheesecake. Okay. Once again, you've seen this in my other videos, an offset spatula. Okay. And all we're going to do is, it's not going to take much effort. We're just going to slide this right down in here along the edge, just like this, just like that. All you want to do is just kind of break it away from the pan, right? Okay, just like that. All right, now if you see this, right, this is going to happen with each slice when you cut this cheesecake. All right, so I'm going to show you how to get a cheesecake cut just like you would if you went to a restaurant. Okay, because if you take this and you put this into your cheesecake, it's gonna get all like gummy on the side, and it won't be that nice, even, crisp cut. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what to do. It's very simple, but it's very important when you cut a cheesecake. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside. So over here, right there, like I showed you guys before, there's a latch, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna open up that latch. Okay, and we're gonna pull this ring off. I'm just going to set this aside back here, and we're going to look at that. Huh? That's beautiful. Okay, so the next thing to do now is to release this from the actual bottom of the pan. So even though the bottom of the pan dropped out right here, you still have to take this off. Okay, now there's a couple ways that you can do this. This is the nerve-wracking part with me, at least. You can either take a cardboard disc, which you can buy at like Michael's, any baking supply store, anything like that, and you could take it and you could put it on top like this, and you can maybe flip it like this, and you can see, it's hard to do with the camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it back this way, because the way I usually do it is I just take a thing, again, that you can buy at any baking store. It's like a cake lifter. That's all it is. So what I usually do is just, this is going to be really bad for camera angle, I apologize. I try to just get the corner of this in here, and we start prying a little bit. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pry this all the way around so I don't bore you, because this could be a couple of minutes, and I'm going to get this on the plate, and then I'm going to show you how to cut this up. All right, so stay tuned. I'm going to be right back with you guys as soon as I just transfer this to a cake plate. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I got the cheesecake off of the bottom of the pan and transferred it to a 10-inch cardboard disc, like I just basically got done showing you guys. If you're wondering about the discoloration here on the top, this was from, because when I turned around and I flipped it over, and then it was like a minute or so, or 30 seconds, until I got the pan over and flipped it back over, what happened was the cardboard stuck to the top of the cheesecake. It doesn't obviously hinder the flavor of the cheesecake. It's just that now it looks like this, unfortunately, because you got to do that flip really quick like that. And I just kind of lagged on it a little bit because I needed a kitchen tool, and that's the reason why that happened. Okay, so if you're going to flip your cheesecake, make sure you do it really quick. The best way to do this, like I said in the beginning of the video, is to line the bottom of your pan with parchment paper. This way, when you flip it, all you got to do is just peel the parchment paper off on the bottom, and you don't have to worry about any kind of stickage on the bottom between the graham cracker crust and the aluminum pan that it goes in, the spring pan. And you'll eliminate that. So there's one mistake that I made, but I'm glad I kind of made it because I can show you guys exactly what not to do. Okay, so now we have it. We're ready to cut this. Okay, so what I do is I'm just going to grab a knife here. So you have a 6-inch and I have an 8-inch. Okay, a lot of people like to use a bigger knife. Okay, I don't. The reason why I don't is because there's so much more to cover here. Okay, and you don't want the cheesecake to stick to your knife any more than necessary. So what I choose to do is to lower the circumference here. I put my 8-inch back and I use my 6-inch, okay, just like that, because it's got a less circumference here that it covers. Now the trick to this, and I don't know if you guys can hear it in the background, I have my water running. Okay, the reason why I have my water running is because what you do is you actually heat the knife up with some hot water. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. That's one of the secrets to get a very, very, very crisp looking cheesecake. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to just heat this knife up, run it under some water, and we're going to make our first cut. Okay, so we ran it underwater. All we're going to do is just wipe it clean. We're going to find the center of the cake, and we're just going to go down just like that. Now, okay, so the first cut is made. This is what you get left with. Now, the first cut sometimes is like that. I'm going to spin this around, and I'm going to cut through the back side of the cake. Now, if I put this in the cake right now, it would be completely shambles, okay? So I'm going to rinse this off, spin this cake around, and we're going to cut the other side. Okay, so that's it. We'll spin it around. We will cut through the other side, just like that. And we're gonna get this every single time. I know this part might be boring for you guys, but I do wanna show you this. Now, it gets much easier. So hang in with me just for another second. Okay, so now what I do is I find my quarter. So we're just going to do quarter of a cake, nice and slow. Give it a little wiggle and pull it out. Okay, and we're going to keep doing that. So then I'm going to cut it. I'm going to get 3 pieces out of this quarter, 3 pieces out of this quarter, 3 and 3. So a total, we're going to do 12 pieces of cheesecake. I'm going to cut this up and I'm going to be back because this is really boring for you guys. You understand what we need to do here. I'm going to get the 12 pieces cut and we're going to get ready to plate this up. Okay, hang in there. We got like a couple minutes left and we are done. All right, hang in there. So the cheesecake is all cut up, okay? So what I'm going to do, anyways, there's 12 pieces, like I said just a little bit ago there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this and then we're going to start plating this, okay? So I'm going to move this off camera, and I'm going to bring a plate in here, just like that. And now I'm going to start grabbing some cheesecake. Now, what I like to do, and you could do it any way you want to, but what I like to do is just take a knife, basically the same knife I cut the cheesecake with, and I like to go under it like that and then lift it up and then put it on my plate. That's just the way I do it, but any way you get it off the cardboard is totally fine. There's not an issue either way. Okay, so just give me a second and we'll... Okay. So, and you can see how sharp that is, right? That's how sharp it is. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put one piece here, just like this. Okay. And then we're going to come grab another piece. Just like this. And one more. So we're gonna just kind of show you we're gonna show you three pieces, and we're gonna do one. Let's put that over there. Okay, so this is what we got, okay? And you can see how sharp these cuts are, right? You can, that's what the hot knife does. Now, it may not be perfect, you may not ever get it perfect, but you'll, you know, you'll see, you know, it makes it nice and sharp. And then you can clean your plate up after. Okay, so we're gonna make one of these, like I said in the beginning of the video, we're gonna make one of these cherry. So we're just gonna put a little cherry there. And remember, guys, plating is everything, okay? So take your time, you know, if you're having company or whatever, you know, make sure, there you go, see, just like that. Have it drip down the sides if you want to, okay? And now we're gonna do the blueberry. Okay, just like that. The more decadent you make it, the more enjoyable it is, right? Okay, so, all right, guys, so, and your plain cheesecake. So we have our blueberry, our cherry, and this is it. This is how I make, this is how I would serve it as well. Okay, so this is my cheesecake. So if you guys make this video or make this recipe, I guarantee you guys are gonna like this. You're gonna love it, actually. But again, it's a very dense cheesecake, and you can see how that is. Oh, I got a little something there. Okay, so we're gonna just hold it straight for a screenshot, just like this. Okay, guys, if you like this video, give this recipe a try. This is a great cheesecake, absolutely phenomenal cheesecake. If you guys like this cheesecake, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell. I do one of these every week, like I always say. Okay, until the next recipe, until next week, when I post another one, everybody have a great day, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week. All right, guys, sorry, just one more minute here. What I forgot to do was I actually forgot to taste this. So I'm going to take a little bit of the blueberry here. Oh, boy. I'm not even joking, guys. Like, I know a lot of people on YouTube say, oh, this is a fantastic recipe, you got to make this, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I'm not one of those guys. If I make something and it's not good, it's not good, because we all mess up, right? We all do recipes for the first time. I've been making this cheesecake for a long, long time. All right, let me see. Let me see the cherry. Mm. Mm. Oh boy, you know what? We're gonna throw the towel in on that one. All kidding aside, make this recipe. Anybody that eats this is never going to be disappointed. Okay, guys, that's all I needed to say. I just wanted to make sure I gave it just a little bit of a taste test. All right, again, I'll see you guys next week. Everybody be good. Everybody be safe. And I will see you on the next video.